Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, September 9th, and I'm your host, Kristen McDonald. It is great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood. This week on Norwood News, we kick off the school year. Clayton Cheever tells us all the happenings at the Norwood Library for the month of September. The town thanks Chris DeGeese for his incredible donation to bring the Pops to Norwood back in June. But first, this past weekend, the second annual Ron Marshalsea Scholarship Wiffle Ball Tournament was held at the Norwood Elks. The Ron Marshalsea Scholarship is awarded to an NHS senior that is graduating and pursuing a career in the trades. NCM's own Ron Marshalsea tells us all about it.
This past weekend was the second annual Ron Marshalsea Wiffle Ball Tournament, and I think it was fair to say everyone, from the adults and kids who played to the adults and kids who watched, had a really good time. This was the second annual Wiffle Ball Tournament to raise money for the Ron Marshalsea Scholarship, which awards a graduating Norwood High School senior with $1,000 towards a trade, along with a tool bag full of tools. This year's tournament was an incredible time and a huge success. There were 2 days this year, with Saturday the 3rd being ages 16 and up, and Sunday the 4th being ages 15 and under. And both days were definitely competitive, but equally fun. We were able to raise well over a year's worth of scholarship money over the weekend alone, as well as have signs showcasing the first recipient of the scholarship given this past June to 2022 graduate Chris Boudreau. The success of the tournament only makes us more eager to award another $1,000 and tool bag to a graduating senior next year. While my team didn't make it past the first round, we still had a lot of fun. Thank you to everyone who donated their time and money in support of the scholarship and the tournament, and a special thanks to the Norwood Elks for allowing us to use their field. We're already in the process of getting dates for next year.
The new school year kicked off this past Wednesday, and after a busy summer of preparing the schools, the Norwood Public Schools doors were open and ready to welcome all the students back. NCM checked in with Superintendent Dave Thompson and NHS Principal Hugh Galligan.
Well, obviously every year we take everything apart, top to bottom, and pull it all apart and clean everything. We have the world's greatest custodial and facility staff. I tell them that every year. The fact when you walk into these buildings, even mid-year, end of the year, they look as good as they do. But still, there's maintenance to do. There is cleaning to do. So all of that takes time over the summer. The biggest project, obviously, is the new high school turf field and lights. Obviously, supply chain has influenced that. We're a little delayed, but had to adjust some of our games for this fall and how we're going to do them. But we are really excited about having that new project online for the end of September. Well, the school start time is obviously a big change, and actually yesterday and today have been very smooth considering all that. You still have a normal amount of bus routes to fine tune and things along that line, but pretty much normal. We did have a lot of hiring this year. We had 64 new faces at opening day at Convocation last Thursday. We have 3 new principals, one at the Willett and LMPA, one at the Callahan, and one at the Cleveland School. We have a new director of strategic initiatives, so we have 2 new assistant directors for special ed. So we have seen some turnover. We're lucky in that we started that process very early. Across the board, we started hiring in April. Usually we don't start until May, but that really has helped us. You probably have seen the news with other people drastically short. We're still not there. There's still a few positions we're looking to fill, but we are closer than we probably would have been had we waited. But we're really excited about our new staff, new members of the Norwood Public Schools family, and looking forward to another great year. How does it feel to have a normal school year kick off? Well, we thought last year was going to be a normal school year, so we have our fingers crossed. It is, I think there's a better sense of what this year will look like. We're still going to continue trying to keep our students and staff as safe as possible. We've been very active, thanks to Jill Driscoll and our nursing staff, with offering vaccination clinics for the community. We're going to continue with that. Masks are optional. But we're looking forward to bringing kids back. Our major focus is building relationships at this point in time. We've done a lot of work with social emotional learning, cultural proficient teaching, and in doing that, I think we're going to have a great start to the year and really build a good, strong culture. Because without people feeling safe and secure and able to access education, that learning piece doesn't really happen. So we've done a lot of PD over the last 2 years around those topics, and hopefully this year we get every opportunity to put it in place.
The first day at Norwood High School was an enormous success. We were really fortunate to welcome almost 1,000 smiling students back to Norwood High School on day one. We rolled out the red carpet and gave them the VIP treatment. So at the front and back entrances, we celebrated our students' arrival in that way. Once students got in, our staff was really focused on reestablishing and building positive relationships with our kids. One of the ways that we did that was for staff, we did an exercise to reconnect with our why, our purpose, really why we do what we do. And we shared that with students, and we put that on display for students to see and build strong teacher-student relationships this school year. It was a great way to kick off the school year, and we know it's going to be a successful one in the 22-23 year.
Back on June 26th, the town of Norwood enjoyed a once-in-a-lifetime experience when the Boston Pops came to town to perform on the Norwood Town Common. A big reason this was made possible was a generous donation from Chris DeGise of DCD Holdings. General Manager Tony Mazzucco and Selectwoman Helen Donahue sat down with Chris right here in the NCM studios to thank him for a day the town of Norwood will never forget.
Yeah, so my father was in Florida with a friend, Stu Ravik, and they just got to talking about it, and it'd be great if we could do something special for the town of Norwood. And just through them talking, they're like, well, what if we did the Boston Pops? And so at that point, Stu, I think, must have reached out, and he was kind of the, not instigator, but person that kind of kicked it off and got the idea going. And once we heard about it, we're like, this is awesome, hands down, have to do it.
It was the Boston Pops, and it was the full Esplanade Orchestra. It was Keith Lockhart, the most famous current leader of the group. And then we added on Paul Alberta, the director of music in Norwood, and he built the Norwood program for music. And awesome. Kyle, what is Kyle's last name? Leonard. Kyle Leonard, who was a high school student, who is now given the opportunity to perform with the Boston Pops.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
It really did, Chris, it's important. We want to make sure you know this for 30 years was a dream deferred, and it was a dream realized because of your generous donation, and the town is very, very grateful for that. There were between 5,000 and 6,000 people on the town common, which when you look at it in sheer terms of numbers, 1 out of every 5 residents in Norwood was on the town common at one given time. We were all a little nervous about that many people being down there, but people filled in, and it was great. A lot of the businesses that are normally closed on a Sunday opened up. They had some outdoor food areas and beer gardens, so a lot of the businesses did great business that day as well. And the show went off without a hitch. We were a little nervous about the giant 40-foot stage being on the central street there in front of the town common, but they were able to come and get it set up, and it was quite an impressive sight. If you look at all the different cities and towns where the Boston Pops play, you'll never find them in a small suburb like Norwood. They almost never play a venue like this, and we were able to get them here due to your generosity. And it was, I think the term we use is, it was really just a perfect day in Norwood and a dream come true.
We'll be right back with Library Director Clayton Cheever. The Kona ice truck visits NHS, and a car crashes into a building in downtown Norwood.
Norwood Community Media has its own video on-demand channels. You can go to our website, norwoodcommunitymedia.org, and click on whichever on-demand channel you are looking for, whether it be things to do in the community, events at the schools, or town government meetings. Once you click on one, you are going to be taken to a screen in which you can search for stories or videos you missed on TV or just want to watch again. Just click on the search bar on top of the page and start typing. Once you've found what you're looking for, just click in the middle of the video where the play button is, and you are off enjoying one of the 3 on-demand channels NCM has to offer.
With fall upon us, the library has a full plate of events and fun things for the community this September. Library Director Clayton Cheever gives us all the details on all the fun to be had at the library.
Greetings from the Morrow Memorial Library, Norwood's public library for everyone. I'm Clayton Cheever. I use he, his pronouns, and I'm your library director. I'd like to tell you about a few things happening here at the library this September. We are very pleased to be open on Saturdays again, starting the weekend after Labor Day, with our first Saturday open coinciding with Norwood Day this year on September 10th. We'll reopen on Sundays on October 16th. We all love the changing seasons. Another highlight of this time of year is all the great produce we can enjoy. I hope you've been enjoying lots of fresh tomatoes, squash, peppers, and all of your favorite fruits and vegetables. Have you had the pleasure of cutting a ripe tomato with a sharp knife, or do you feel like you're bruising your fruit because your knives are too dull and they're just as likely to bounce off and hurt someone as they are to make a clean cut? Well, we have a solution to this problem if you can relate. Simply borrow our knife sharpeners, bring them home, and with some pretty easy moves, you'll be happy with redefined edges. Now, why am I talking about knife sharpeners? Whenever people think of libraries, they naturally think of books, which is great. We love talking about books, but I want to make sure you know that we have so much more here for you as well. One of Norwood's hidden treasures is our Library of Things. I encourage you to check out our Library of Things online to get inspired for all the ways you can benefit from our shared treasures. In addition to so many great things to borrow and a wonderful place to visit, we take great pride in the wide array of engaging, educational, and entertaining programs we help facilitate every month. We have a new in-person sensory story time for children ages 2 and older that's happening on Tuesday mornings starting at 10. Gather with us each week to listen to fun stories and explore all 5 of our senses with themed sensory activities. Registration is required, so go to our calendar at norwoodlibrary.org today to reserve a spot for your little one. We also have programs for adults, and we're expecting a lot of people will want to tune in to one that we've been planning since before the Dobbs decision overturned Roe v. Wade earlier this summer. On Monday evening, September 19th, starting at 7, we're hosting an online program with investigative journalist Joshua Prager about his recent book, The Family Roe, An American Story. A finalist for the 2022 Pulitzer Prize, Prager spent years with Norma McCorvey, the plaintiff in Roe v. Wade, and has incredible insight into the saga. Tiziana Deering, host of Radio Boston, will moderate this program, and registration is required to get the Zoom link. Hispanic Heritage Month starts in September, and one of the great ways to recognize the fabulous contributions to our community from people with Hispanic heritage is to improve our skills with the Spanish language. If that sounds like a good idea to you, but you don't know where to start, we have a great online tool I'm excited to tell you about. It's called Transparent Languages, and it can be found on our website, norwoodlibrary.org, under the Digital Resources menu. Simply select the databases from the menu and then scroll down the alphabetical list until you come to Transparent Languages. You can use it as a guest, but to track your progress, you'll need to create a free account the first time you visit. All you need is to pick a username, give them an email, and create a password, and you're good to go. When you first log on, you'll be presented with a list of all the languages offered, from Afrikaans to Zulu, and asked which you wish to study. If you choose Spanish, you'll then choose whether you wish to study Latin American or Castilian Spanish, if you're an English speaker, or you can choose Latin American Spanish for either Brazilian Portuguese speakers or Turkish speakers. You can also choose Kids Speak, an instruction designed specifically for children for each of these options. You'll get a quick orientation, and then you can dive right in. I've brought some books with me today I'm excited to tell you about. Lori Mortensen wrote, and Rob Sega Jr. created the artwork for this fun story, Arlo Draws an Octopus. It's a story of an artistically frustrated kid learning to stop being a perfectionist and expanding their appreciation for art. It also stars a cephalopod, which is a good way to catch my attention. Some of my best friends have major crushes on these intelligent, tentacled wonders. For older readers, I've brought 2 books. Jenny Offel's most recent novel is called Weather. Perhaps you read one of her previous books. Last Things made the New York Times list of notable books of the year when it was published, and lots of people raved about Department of Speculation. The protagonist in Weather works in a library, cares for her son and a recovering addict brother, as well as her divorced mother. She has a side hustle with a podcast that engages all sides of the conversation around climate change, and she struggles with managing disaster psychology and doomsday preppers. This is a quick read that seems to resonate with lots of different readers. This other book is the true story of a Latina hero from the tech world of Silicon Valley, gathering a group of young female survivors of abuse and leading them on an epic adventure on Mount Everest. In the Shadow of the Mountain, a memoir of courage by Sylvia Vasquez Levado, is a remarkable story of heroism which will stoke your lust for adventure, whet your appetite for risk, and nurture your faith in our collective resilience. This has been a Moral Moment. From everyone here at the library, I wish you and yours a safe and happy September, and I hope I see you at Norwood Day.
Last week, the teachers at NHS got a little treat from the Kona ice truck that visited them during their first day back. Assistant Principal Cindy Durain gives us all the details.
As many flavors as you like. I'd recommend 3 or less. If you want to do all 10, go for it. So we're back at NHS 2022-2023 school year. We have the Kona ice truck to kick everything off. We're out here celebrating. So excited to see everybody. Let's go Mustangs. Have a great year.
On Thursday afternoon, the Norwood Fire and Police Departments responded to a vehicle crash into a building in downtown Norwood. The Norwood Fire Department Facebook page stated, "This afternoon at 11:59, NC2, Engine 3, Ladder 1, a mutual aid Westwood ambulance, along with Norwood Police Department, responded to Central Street for a reported vehicle versus building MVC motor vehicle collision. On arrival, crews found that a vehicle had struck a building in the 100 block of Central Street, causing moderate damage. The vehicle was quickly stabilized by firefighters and utilities were secured to the building. Westwood firefighters assessed a single patient who was uninjured and refused treatment or transport. Companies stood by on scene for the building inspector and for safe vehicle removal." After the break, we'll return with more from the NHS Fall Sports Media Day, the election primary results for the town of Norwood, and CPC is looking for your help.
The Morrill Memorial Library offers a variety of free programs throughout the year. During the month of September, the library will be hosting several events open to residents. Registration may be required ahead of time. On Saturday, September 10th, experience the art of henna. Join multi-award-winning New England artist Noreen Sultana. The class will run from 10:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. The event is first come, first serve. On Tuesday, September 13th at 7 p.m., virtually join the Latina Heritage Authors Panel. Chat with authors Isabel Canas, Romina Garber, Priscilla Oliveras, and Caridad Pinheiro and learn about their journeys to becoming published authors. This is a virtual event and registration is required. On Monday, September 19th, join author Joshua Prager as he discusses his book, The Family Row. The event will be moderated by Radio Boston's Tiziana Deering, and this event will be virtual. Registration is required. On Thursday, September 22nd, the Morrill Memorial Library is teaming up with Ashland Library and the Senior Center to bring you author David Crew. Crew will be part of a virtual author talk to discuss his book, The Building of Route 128, The Road We Love to Hate. This will be a virtual event and registration is required. A reminder to library patrons that the library will be closed on Monday, September 5th for Labor Day. The Morrill Memorial Library is an important resource for the town of Norwood. To learn more about the programs the library offers, visit their website at norwoodlibrary.org or give them a call at 781-769-0200.
One of the traditions at Norwood High School is the annual Fall Sports Media Day. This is the only season that the athletes have their yearbook picture taken at the same time, and these photos will be frozen forever in their yearbooks. This event kicks off the fall sports season and is organized by Athletic Director John Longley.
If the sun is a problem, close your eyes when you hear me count 3. I'll say open up. Ready?
So we started Team Fall Picture Day, or Media Day as some people describe it, 9 years ago, my first year in Norwood, and during the fall season it's a perfect time to do it because we have a kind of a traditional preseason, which we don't usually get with the other 2 seasons. Then we have the long weekend, and then the games all start next week. So there's a clean break right before the long weekend. The games start. We work hard with the coaches and Anne-Marie Brusler getting the kids the uniforms. They have to have them this week, and we have our media day, and boom, next week we go. We start the games. Everyone is where they're supposed to be, and this is a nice kind of start to the school year and the fall season that we don't get the same opportunity for the winter and the spring the way that the schedule falls. So it's a nice way to kind of kick off the year. All the teams here in uniform, the kids are excited, and it's a little bit of a celebration too after concluding their preseason work, and it's just kind of a fun morning.
Over the years, as I've done this, I've been very aware that this will be something they will open up and look at many times over their lifetimes. And I try to always make sure that I convey the image that I want them to be able to see years from now.
Good luck to all the athletes, and I promise you, you will look through your yearbooks and they will always help you remember your high school years. The residents of Norwood made their way out in the rain on Monday to cast their votes in the state primary election. Here are some of the unofficial results from that election. In Norwood, 4,465 voters came out to the polls out of over 20,000. Democrat Maura Haley topped the ticket with 2,689 votes. Jeff Deal got 734 votes as her Republican opponent. Kimberly Driscoll won 1,517 votes for her run at Democratic Lieutenant Governor. The Republican candidate will be Leah Allen, coming in with 629 votes. Also in this election, Norwood's Representative John Rogers ran unopposed for his current seat in the House. Senator Michael Rush and Norfolk County District Attorney Michael Morrissey also ran unopposed. Residents will cast their vote in Massachusetts. The Community Preservation Committee is now accepting applications for 2022-2023 projects. Applications are available as of September 1st, and pre-applications are due by October 7th. All final applications must be turned in by November 18th. Community Preservation Act projects must meet eligibility requirements defined in the CPA statute. To learn more about the Community Preservation Act and to apply for a project, visit the Town of Norwood website at norwoodma.gov. Just a reminder to seniors that the Norwood Health Department is partnering with the Senior Center this month to provide Friday flu clinics. The clinics will be held September 23rd from 1 to 3 and September 30th from 9 to 11 a.m. Please call 781-762-1201, extension 5 to sign up, and please remember to bring your insurance cards. Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.